Coaches, welcome back to this week's PGC Coaches Circle. I'm here with Graham Maxwell and Micah Hayes, and we're going to talk about shot selection. We're actually going to go in-game and show you some video of our team taking 9s and 7s and 5s and 3s and how we rate those. But before we do that, we're going to talk about keeping the main thing the main thing. And this actually came from a conversation that I had with one of our players today and how confused he was that we were overcoaching and there was just too much going on and how we could be better as a staff. And it made me think about keeping the main thing the main thing. And we're going to talk about two different ways to keep the main thing the main thing. One, in your strength, quickness, agility, all the stuff that you're going to do to make a great athlete. And we're going to talk about that with Micah first, and then after that, we're going to show you the shot selection all the way from a 9 to a 3, and then we're going to talk about the role of an assistant coach and how you can best keep the main thing the main thing. So, Micah, let's start with you, and let's talk about strength conditioning.
Well, coaches, I want to keep this really, really simple. I'm going to boil it down to two major points here. Number one, you want to make sure your athletes are healthy during the course of the season. If they're not healthy, they don't feel good, they won't perform well for you, and then you have major problems. And then number two, you want to make sure your strength and conditioning program lends itself to creating better performers on the court. You want athletes who are jumping higher, running faster, and that really starts with what you do in the weight room and also with your recovery time. So number one, make sure that that your athletes are healthy. You're providing them with enough recovery time to perform on the court. And then number two, you're going to make sure what you're doing in the gym actually applies to what you're going to do on the court.
Yeah, that's great, Micah. You want them on the court, most important. Now we're going to jump into shot selection. So we're going to show you a video. Your first clip you're going to see is of a 3, a really bad shot. 3 is like a third-grade shot. Then we're going to show you a 5, a 50-50 shot. And this is actually the most common shot in the game of basketball. Go into your gym today, and you're going to see a lot of 5s. And these will get you beat a lot of times. But winning teams, they shoot 7s. And I didn't say 8s and 9s because those are usually the result of hunting a 7 and you get an 8 or a 9 because something broke down. For actually a loose ball where you get in transition or offensive rebound and easy putback. So your team should be hunting 7s. We talk about this at our PGC course and also at our PGC Glacier clinics. But we're going to give you the short of it right here, and you're going to see a 3, a 5, a 7, and a 9. And we'll come back in just a second and sum it up for you. Here we go.
Not able to hit the 3, just 3 of 28 coming into tonight. Westbrook for 3. Not able to hit the 3, just 3 of 28 coming into tonight. Westbrook for 3.
So coaches, that's shot selection for you. That's a 9, a 7, a 5, and a 3. And just want to focus on the 7 for just a second. In range, in rhythm, and uncontested. Those are the shots that you're hunting. Some people have 5 feet range, some have 25-foot range. And so if you're Steph Curry and 25 foot your range and you're in rhythm and you can get one uncontested, let it fly. We want our players to take 7s. We're going to win a lot of games if we can shoot 7s or better, and we can prevent, on the defensive end, them taking 7, 8s, and 9s. And really, if you were to boil it down to one thing, that's probably the most important. You've heard us talk about this at our PGC, or actually our Point Guard College course, or at our PGC Glacier Clinic. We're going to finish up with one more thought on the main thing, and we're going to talk about the role of the assistant coach in keeping the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, as an assistant coach, in order to get a win at one of your key responsibilities is to make sure everyone's on the same page. And that goes for assistant coaches, making sure we know what's going on and we're on the same page, as well as relaying the head coach's message all the way down to the players. And what should the players expect of themselves and of each other. And that's our responsibility as an assistant coach. And if there's ever a doubt on what the message is you're trying to relay, first thing I would say is ask the head coach. And one thing that we tell our players is failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And if we don't come together, if we don't meet as a staff to make sure everyone's on the same page, then we're setting our players up for failure. If we're giving different messages, or if we take more pride in talking than actually listening, then we're going to be in for a long season, and our players won't perform at the highest level that they can because we would just rather talk instead of actually add value. And in order to add value, your whole staff has to be on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of you don't have a staff, so it's more important that you be specific about what your main thing is. You have to, as an individual, decide, here's what I hold most important, and here's the things that I can do without. I still have a long way to go as a coach, but one thing that becomes more evident every single year to me is that sometimes less is more. And I find myself cutting out more things, and I find myself adding new things, because players need to be able to focus on playing. And when there's too many things to think about and there's too much confusion, they're not going to operate at their highest level. So coaches, decide what the main thing is, and then make sure that your teaching matches up with that. Am I really focusing on the main thing, or am I just all over the place, and therefore they're not getting the main thing? Thanks for joining us this week, coaches, and we'll see you next week.